I had to learn to adapt to the exact circumstance that I'm in now and find out the truth about what is actually killing people on time, because that's all part of the death culture. If you don't know what's actually killing you and you don't know how to fix that problem, you're going to die alongside everybody else. I don't know how many times I talk with people about longevity. You know, the opportunity now that we have with the knowledge that we have to live a very, very long time, even literally hundreds of years, which of course sounds too good to be true. But people used to live over 900 years, and there's a reason why they did. It's not because they lived in the blue zone. You know, living in the blue zone gives you a few extra years. Being health conscious gives you a few extra years. But, you know, you look at the comparison between mainstream people who are not really health conscious to the very health conscious, they all kind of die at the same time. And so when I start talking about living a very long period of time, people will think, you know, do you really want to live a long time? Like, why would you want to live a long time? And I'm thinking that whole thought pattern is total death culture. Everyone's super conditioned into the death culture. You know, they'll say things like, well, if I keep living too long, then I'll outlive all my friends and I won't have any friends left. Or if I live too long, half my family will be gone. Meanwhile, I say to them, if you could have the biological and the structural age of a 25 to 35-year-old, and you could maintain that status for an indefinite long period of time, even potentially hundreds of years, would you do it? And the answer unequivocally should be yes. Because why? If you're around people who understand what you understand and do what you do, they are your real friends. People who are not taking care of themselves, they can't even care enough about you. You can only care about others as much as you care about yourself. You can only love others as much as you love yourself. And the truth is that the longer you're alive on this earth, the more experience you get, the better you should get, and this is possible. The healthier you should get, which is now possible. The smarter, the wiser, the more agile, the more mobile. And then you're able to share this value with the earth, and you become exponentially valuable every 10 years as you age. Now, aging is two different things. Aging means you're alive longer, and aging also can mean getting finer, or aging can mean you're going to die sooner. So the standard death culture thoughts are that you're going to be dead by the time you're 77 average in North America. If you live in the blue zone, hey, you might get a little longer. But how many people do you personally know who live in the blue zone? And how soon are you going to be moving to a blue zone or become a Tibetan monk or somewhere, you know, seriously? I'm not against the blue zones or Tibetan monks. Hey, they live amazing lives and they live a long time. That's their business. But I don't think I'm going to become a Tibetan monk or live in a blue zone anytime soon. I was born in Canada, live in Canada. This is where I am. I had to learn to adapt to the exact circumstance that I'm in now and find out the truth about what is actually killing people on time, because that's all part of the death culture. If you don't know what's actually killing you and you don't know how to fix that problem, you're going to die alongside everybody else. And everyone who I see dying either die in an accident, which is very rare, like 5% of the population dies by accident. And then they're going to either die by some disease that's going to take them down. It's going to be a horrible descent into death. Or they live long enough that there's so many things that come up in their life that makes them suffer so much they just want to die. And they don't know what's killing them. If they knew, they would prefer to stay around. But who wants to live in a body that's aching and full of pain and suffering and trauma and no energy and feeling like crap and looking like crap? Nobody wants that. But the fact is, there is a living culture. You can opt out of the death culture and opt into the living culture, which is simple and effective. You don't have to be a billionaire eating goop and 100 pills every day and propped up by 50 different doctors trying to keep you like an 18-year-old. That's pure insanity. No one can do that. It's not sustainable. People who do that are trying to show you that you're never going to do that. What I'm talking about is simple, basic, affordable, doable things that absolutely works across the board. That's what this is all about. That's what all the information here is all about. And when you get the download and you actually understand what is up so that you can now fix the problem. So you're either going to have a whole bunch of problems in your life with a bunch of remedies. And the remedies reduce the symptoms, and they knock the pain down, and they give you a little bit of energy. They jack you up with stimulants. Whatever these remedies are, they suck, because the problems are always underlying and always there, and you're having to prop it up. I can share information with you that will completely allow you to remove the problems entirely out of your life. So you don't have to have any more remedies. You just follow the protocols that are simple and fun. And you go through the firewalls, you go through the roller coaster rides until you get to the other side of that problem, where the problem is now gone. And now you're sailing, smooth sailing. And you go layer after layer after layer until every single problem is eliminated. At that point, your body just continues to live, and you feel fantastic. You look fantastic. If you're 200 years old, you want to look like you're 200 years old, but not a withered up, shriveled up, nasty, horrible 200-year-old. You want to look like a weathered, seasoned, glowing, healthy 200-year-old. Otherwise, what's the point? And if you can't do it affordably, where anybody on this earth in any status can afford to do so, then it's not the real thing. Health is free. And I suspected this about 15, 16 years ago. I started to sit back and go, what if I find out one day that being physically healthy is free? Now, that would be bizarre. And that sounds way too good to be true. It's probably not true, but what if it is true? And so I thought, okay, I'll just open up to that idea that health could be free. I'll just open it up and say, I'm going to be open to that idea. As time went on, I started to see little suspicious things that would show up that was indicating that possibly health is free. And then stronger things showed up that was very suspicious. And I started to think, looks like maybe it is actually free. And then things showed up that made it possible to do things that were no cost of money at all. In fact, it did a transfer of expense so intensely that what I was having to spend here just to prop up my body so that it was, maintaining what I thought was a healthy status as much as possible, which was actually quite expensive. It reduced right down, all the way down. And then all of a sudden, all this excess money was available to do things that I didn't even have to spend on. My cost of food went way down, eat the best food on earth, and don't gain weight and don't lose weight, and feel fantastic all the time. And I'm fully satiated, and I don't have hunger. I'm always satisfied because I found out how to prepare food properly and easily and quickly and inexpensively, but still it's the highest quality food on earth. And then I found out that I could do repair to injuries because I had significant injuries when I was young. I worked in the oil field on oil rigs for 17 years, and I was injured significantly on a few different occasions and thought I would never be able to recover from it. So bad with my knees, I couldn't snow ski or water ski since I was 21 years old. That's pretty significant. Anyway, at the age of 60 years old, I found out how to repair all that and spent the last 5 years doing the repairs and total successfully, and it didn't cost any money. And these are physical repairs in a physical body that you can't pretend happened. It either did or didn't, and it visibly, completely, and totally repaired. And in the biological system, it is compromised by pollutants that you're breathing. And you can't stop breathing anytime soon. And you're not going to be able to get to a place on the earth where you don't have, contaminants in the air. It's everywhere. And there's 1,000 different items that are in the air in the nano, pico, and Dalton realm, which are so tiny you can't even see with a microscope. And there's quadrillions of them, and you're breathing them all day. And I found out how to remove that out of my body completely, so that the accumulated waste that I had built up over my 60-some years of life is now reduced down to a manageable state where it's no longer killing me. So my cardiovascular system is now softened and supple like a 25-year-old. All the muscular tissue in my arteries and veins and capillaries, however you want to say it, is all now like a youthful state, which now allowed my blood pressure, which was actually normal before I started the process. My blood pressure went way up because I started producing so much fresh new blood in my body that I added 10 pounds of blood weight on the scale within just a few months. And then that blood circulation carried all the elements and all the detoxification attributes to remove all the garbage out of my entire cardiovascular muscular system, because your entire cardiovascular system is little muscle walls that peristaltically move the blood through your body in pulses. And the older you get and the more contaminated that gets, the stiffer they get, which causes high blood pressure. But my blood pressure only went up for a few months while I was going through the protocol. Once the tissue softened, I had all this excess blood and my blood pressure normalized permanently because now all the systems were back to a youthful state, even with 10 pounds of extra blood. And my body produces new blood every single day because I found out exactly how to do that. And my body automatically produces it. I just feed it the raw materials to do so. And now I've got full everything happening to detoxify the rest of my system. And now I got a super efficient system. And my whole entire digestive system got completely healed because the problem I had, I didn't have enough raw material for my stomach to produce the hydrochloric acid it needed to have a very healthy digestive system. So that when the food hits the stomach, if you don't have the proper quality of acids in your stomach, the food doesn't break down right. You don't get the nutrients. And then your body starts freaking out because it thinks it's starving. Now I've got a super powerful digestive system that pulls all the nutrients out of the food. It goes through. My entire digestive system is squeaky clean at all times. And I don't have to do any enemas or anything like that. None required whatsoever. So life became super simple. So I spend the least amount of time, the least amount of energy, the least amount of effort, and the least amount of money to get the maximum result and to live a healthy life, which is actually cheaper than free compared to what people actually have to spend when they don't have this knowledge. So getting the knowledge is the key. And I'm here to share the knowledge with you. And this knowledge is very intelligent. It is mathematical, scientific, and accurate. So I'm really excited that you're seeing this video and that I'm about to share with you these keys, these critical keys that you need to find out how to become super healthy. I mean, regardless of your age right now, get yourself to a 25 to 35-year-old biological and structural health and maintain that indefinitely. So we'll catch you up to you very soon. And I appreciate your attention to this and hanging in there.